Hey, girly. Daddy loves his Shayla. I got something to show you. For Christmas, your mother gave me this, one of your school photos, and I want you to see something. You see right there that little gap? Gap? Gap. Proof positive you are my little princess, my little girly. Daddy loves his Shalem. You'll probably get braces at some point. Your mother probably will give you braces and get rid of your gap. But I have proof you were just like daddy because I'm never getting rid of mine. So, anyway, enough with the frivolity. Serious subject. Serious subject. I think I'm going to call this video the part of my keys to life. And this is going to be the number one key. To simplify it, because I like things simple, we'll call this number one key, we'll call it the why key. The reason I want to term it the why key, because the thing that I want to impart to you as you're growing up is to always ask why. And I don't normally use absolutes when talking, but in this situation, I think it's warranted because I believe for everything in our lives, we should always continually be asking ourselves why and asking others why. When there's things people ask you to do, why? When there's things that you hold on to emotionally, you need to ask yourself, well, why? Why do I believe that? Why do I feel that way? The reason being is all human beings, we all feel emotions. And emotions can be very, very strong. And if we're not careful, those emotions can lead us in directions that we don't want to go. Because emotions are temporary. They're temporary feelings that come, that go, and you never want to make lifelong choices based upon temporary things. So you always want to ask yourself why before you make those major choices in your life. You want to really, really just investigate, why am I doing this? Why do I want to do this? Why do I need to do this? Do I really need to do this? Is this really necessary? Or why is this person asking me to do this? Why are they seem like they're trying to push me toward this? And I have a rule of thumb that I really want to instill in you. And in light of the way things are going in this world and the way they're going to continue to go, I'm sure, my rule of thumb is this. I'm a contrarian. Don't know where it came from. My mother's not a contrarian that I can tell. And when I knew of my father, he wasn't. I don't know where this contrarian attitude comes from. But my rule of thumb is this. If everybody's doing it, I'm not going to do it. Now, it could be something that is factual based, something that you should be doing, but based upon my contrarian nature, I just assume if everybody's going that direction, I really don't want to go that direction. And I will make decisions to not go, then ask myself why. And then if I need to change and follow or go along with the group, I will after I've asked myself why. I will not go with the majority first and foremost. And I want that for you too, for you as well, because as I see and as you'll see as you grow up in this world, that people have a tendency to take on the mob mentality, where if the mob is going that way, nobody wants to buck the trend. Nobody wants to stand up and speak, in some cases, what is the truth, or to just be that lone voice of dissent. And that's very challenging. And I know if to put that in you means that you're going to face ridicule. And as I've thought long and hard about that, but I'd much rather you stand in righteousness and that things that are right than to worry about you dealing with the ridicule of the masses. I really don't care about the ridicule of the masses. And I know by putting that into you, you're going to face ridicule. You're going to. It's the way it is. But I want you to be a person who does what's right, not because anybody's watching, but because it is right. And so, one of the things that's really valuable and that I want you to have instilled in you first and foremost is that you always question your own motives and your own actions. Because when you do that, it becomes a lot easier to deal with the things that are going to come at you. If you're willing to do that within yourself, then it'll be easy to do that on the outside when someone or a group of someone's is coming at you. And one of the other things that it does when you're willing to question yourself, it creates a sense of humility. You recognize that, hey, I can make mistakes too. So that way you tend to be less judgmental and less harsh on people when they make their mistakes, because hey, look, I make mistakes too, and I'm going to give you leeway to make mistakes. But the thing that I want you to really have in this, and there's going to be another part that comes with this. It's not the same thing, but it goes with it, and it's about respecting others. But before you even get there, you have to first deal with looking at yourself and questioning and asking yourself why. Because there's a lot of times, sweetheart, that you're going to feel strongly about things. When you become a teenager and then you get to your 20s and you become an adult, you're going to feel really strongly about things. And the way society is telling you, oh, you need to feel strongly about this, or you need to feel strongly about being a black person and being a black woman, and you need to feel strongly. What I want for you is to not ever take anyone's, not even mine, anyone's word for fact. You ask yourself why, and then you search out the answer of that why. When it's concerning yourself, when it's concerning others, if they ask you to do something or to follow them, ask them why. If they are not willing to answer you why, you do not follow them. You do not go the way they're going. You don't do it. If they're worth following, if they have a message that's worth listening to and emulating, they will be willing to answer why. If they're not, treat them as suspect. Look at them with a side-eye glance. They should always be willing to answer why, because they themselves have thought why. They're standing on something, or they should be standing on something. And if they're not, that's a dangerous thing. Or if they're being deceptive and they don't want to disclose it, or they've created some lie to tell others to get them to believe, it's so important you ask why. And then whatever is told to you by others when you ask why, you do not take anyone's word. You go look for yourself. That is key in your life, and I want to instill in your life. You trust no one, you verify everything. You trust no one's word, you verify every word. You can trust people's motives. You can trust that a person cares for you, that you've grown to know and love and and care about, but that does not mean you still do not verify what they say. You must always verify. And the reason for that is you never, ever, ever want to do something or to make decisions based upon something that may not even be true. And there's so much falsehood that's out there today. You must verify, research it, look it up for yourself. Do not take people's word. And it's not assuming that they're being deceptive, but sometimes people make decisions based upon emotions and their feelings and not based upon facts. So I think that's it for the why. We'll talk about it as time goes on, as you get older and as you have your questions and as you question me as to why, which I look forward to you questioning me. I look forward to those conversations because I have no problem explaining anything I believe. And if it doesn't make sense, continue to ask why. All right? Daddy loves his Shalem. And that's it. That's all. If I haven't told you, you know, Daddy's a house head. You know that, Ray. Well, if you don't, you know it now. Daddy love his Shalem.